Vaman, thank you very much for joining us on the show today. Glad to have you. Let's start by understanding your thoughts on as far as opening a partial lockdown is concerned. You at Mothersons Sumi work with a lot of mid-sized, small-sized companies in terms of suppliers and dealers as well. Talk to us what kind of disruptions you were facing lately, and because of this opening up, how would things start getting relatively better now?
Okay, thanks for the question. Look, this is an unprecedented situation, so there are a lot of things that are going to happen for the first time. But where we can take, a good example is looking at our plants that have opened up in China. If you see that they've been in lockdown for a good period of 2 months, and all the plants that have now opened up, the government authorities are allowing them to open up. We've seen that the demand has picked up exceptionally well. All our plants in China have resumed production, and they're already at that pre-COVID levels that we are seeing. In fact, the entire supply chain has really come together to make sure that the pent-up demand is being addressed, and we're seeing a lot of good offtake. So hopefully the same situation will have, will play out in the rest of the world as well. Of course, with the staggered opening of the lockdown, there may be some stress that comes with certain suppliers, but I'm sure there will be ways that we will overcome that.
I'm glad you brought up China, because China clearly is talk of the town right now. The way auto sector there is showing green shoots once again. Talk to us, since you've been operating there as well. What are the lessons learned from China? How's the demand side looking as far as the Chinese auto market is concerned? Because we here in India draw a lot of parallels out of the Chinese auto market overall.
So China has been a great learning place for us, because they were the first to open up post lockdown, one of the first countries to open up. And really the way that they have planned the opening of the facilities, still maintaining social distancing, making sure that there are now different guidelines for all the employees that are coming into the workplace, even on the assembly areas, making sure there's no crowding happening, from simple things to entering elevator guidelines to canteen to transportation. So every single part of our business has been really relooked at to make sure that the employees' safety and health is the first priority, and how we can go ahead and continue to resume production while taking in some of these new restrictions in social distancing, how we can implement that and yet get more productivity and efficiency. That's something that we have been working on, and are again seeing that even with these revised workspaces, we're still getting that much efficiency and productivity from all the people. On the demand side, we are just in time, just in sequence suppliers, so we don't really hold on to a lot of inventory. And the government has been very supportive in the world over, making sure that they are giving us grants, they are giving us tax relief, they are giving us payments for salaried workers. So that has really helped in keeping the morale high and making sure that everybody can come up and start up in a very good way. And again, like I said, because there's not so much inventories on just the sequence suppliers like us, it's been pretty easy to move up and start supplying to their pent-up demand. And they're already forecasting in China that the demand going forward will be same, if not better, than pre-COVID levels, because of the catch-up that they need to do.
Right. Vaman, what's your own estimate or analysis of the situation right now? How long do you see before normalcy comes back for this sector? From the vantage point, you're operating such a large company across the world, operations are spread out, in terms of component availability, in terms of resumption of demand, in terms of alignment with OEMs, because they're also shaken badly. How are you looking at overall things?
We believe auto manufacturing, auto components is a very key part of the manufacturing industry. And of course, we relate into many other industries like banking, metals, because we use a lot of steel, etc. So, I think the focus is there. All the governments do understand how critical it is to have that. Of course, transportation is key to any industry as well. Even during lockdown, some of our plants around the world, which were supplying to agricultural manufacturers or trucking, those plants were allowed to stay open to supply because they come under the critical or essential category. We are optimistic. We are seeing what is happening in China and hoping that the same trend continues everywhere else. And we believe that these issues that will come up when plants start up, they will not be too hard to solve. And we should get back to pre-COVID levels because it's a critical part of the industry.
The other very interesting input coming out of China is the data which is showing that demand for low ticket passenger vehicles is coming back. There are inquiries. There's a sense here in India that similar pattern may play out in Indian auto market as people's preference towards individual or personal travel comes back and passenger vehicles demand will come back. Do you think that will shape out consumer buying trends, and what are you observing in the Chinese market?
Definitely, some of the feedback that we got was that even in the dealerships, they're seeing a lot of increased activity even more than pre-COVID days, because people are opting for going for personal transportation rather than shared or public transport, which is again very positive for our industry, because there was a lot of talk and debate about how the sharing economy impacts sales of cars. But you can see like one small incident has again made people come back to personal transportation and shows how critical it is. And we believe that the same trend should be followed other parts in the world as well, where people will opt for personal transportation because it relates to their health as well.
Let's shift focus and talk about the company as well. We understand you've announced a fundraising plan of 1,500 crore. Talk to her about what kind of preparation are you putting in place via this fundraising? How's your own liquidity position at the company level?
Sure. So, like I said, we have a consolidated cash position of almost approximately 47 billion rupees. We have consolidated lines, committed and uncommitted, further of another 55 billion rupees, with about 450, 60 million odd euros at SMRP-BV. So, we have adequate headroom in our also in our bond documents to utilize these lines. And there is no major maturities of debt that we see in the next 12 months. So we have a long horizon for payment of these. And further, we see a lot of opportunities that will definitely come on board because of this stress that has been there in the system. And our customers are quite proactive with us. And we believe that raising some of this capital is there just in case the lockdowns are further extended, or good opportunities of acquisitions also come around, which we should be ready for. We believe that makes it more interesting in times like these. So, just making sure that we have the capital in the company in case of any eventuality. We've had one of the strongest positions, like I said, at the end of March 31st, and just being conservative on that front.
Well, that's a pretty prudent strategy. In fact, a lot of conservative companies across the world are doing that. My last question, and probably one of the most discussed on the street, market is curious to know how is your 5-year plan progressing. These are unprecedented circumstances for the sector and for corporate India. In fact, across the world, we have got into. Is your 5-year plan got compromised as well? And are you reworking numbers there? Historically, you've always met your plan.
Our 5-year plans, the good part about it is that, every 5-year plan ends and another 5-year plan starts. We wanted to showcase our next 5-year plan to all our investors somewhere around June, but with the COVID situation, we will now do that in October. With the last 5-year plan, we have almost doubled our turnover from $5 billion muscle entity to around 9.6 is what we reported is on an unaudited basis. The last few months of 2020 have definitely been hampered. We were looking at acquisition opportunities, but any plant visits, etc., have all been put on hold. So unfortunately, we were not able to, close any of those opportunities. But on the brighter side, those opportunities still exist and now even at better valuations. So look, we are not disheartened at all. 5-year plans cannot be timed perfectly. And again, the COVID-19 situation is an unprecedented one. But the good thing is that the next 5-year plan has started, and where we believe, 18 billion for MSSL at the end of 2019-2020, we believe that the next 5-year plan would be that much even higher than that. So a lot of good things have happened in the last 5-year plan. We have grown significantly. I think the team has done a phenomenal job. And we look at further opportunities in the next 5-year plan, and we will show a lot more details of that to the entire investment community when we have a conference now, perhaps somewhere in October or November.
All right, Mr. Vaaman Sehgal, son of Shant Sehgal, we'll let you go on that one. Thank you so much for joining us and helping us understand where the company stands right now, what kind of situation are you facing at the company level. Of course, the 5-year plan is a rolling average. Things will change and you will come back in the groove once again. But thank you very much for that very candid commentary coming in regarding the company.